Welcome to another episode. Today's word of the day is cultivation. If you can remember from our wealth vocabulary series, we talked about how important cultivation is when you are laying the seeds for your future. All right. So I use the word cultivation instead of grow because when you just let things grow, you don't necessarily know what will happen. You have to have some maintenance that actually happens alongside the process. So we're going to go through the step-by-step process for how do you cultivate your garden. So if you can see behind me here, let's see, I have some, I believe they're, what are they? I'm not a gardener, but I know I had some nice plants growing on the side here. I believe they are, it might be chrysanthemums if I'm saying them correctly. And they were in a little bit of disrepair just last season. They just hadn't been taken care of, and there were a lot of weeds growing in there and everything else. So I'm not a gardener, but I wanted them to look better than they did. So I did my homework. What I did is the plants were already there. They were growing, but they just needed a little bit more TLC. So I put, the first thing I did is I cleared out all the weeds, got everything down to a flat bed. Then do I remember? Oh, put down fertilizer, soil to actually help the plants grow and be healthy. So I put down a layer of that. Then on top of the soil, I put down a screen mesh. So what does a screen mesh do? It protects the weeds from growing because you don't want any weeds growing around your investment. You don't want that to essentially take over. All right. So that's what that layer did, that layer of mesh, and that was the protection that I put in place. And then after that, I actually put some rubber, I think they're rubber pellets on top. And the reason for that is I wanted it to look nice. I didn't want there just to be a screen mesh, but that's where you get to decorate. You could choose rocks. I chose rubber because I didn't want to have to worry about any maintenance. And it actually looks pretty good. Everything's growing pretty well this year, which I appreciate. And then I put a border along the side. I'm not sure if you actually saw that or not. The border is just to keep everything contained in an area. So now I don't have to do as much work as I would have otherwise because I took the steps in the process to put something in place. Now, anytime you're looking to cultivate anything, there's a process that you take. So let's see, the first place that I would start would be the investment you're making. So the investment I was making was within the plants and what the area looked like. So I needed to make sure that that was in tip-top shape. After that, I was looking for location. And the location, we just happened to be on the side of my house here. So I wanted that location to be something that actually had plenty of sunlight so the plants would grow. Fortunately, that was already in a good location. In addition to that, foundation. So the foundation was the fertilizer. I wanted to actually put that down so that the seeds would actually have something to grow in. And I actually have some tulips, I believe, that were growing back here. But as you can see, they've bloomed and kind of taken their course. But next season, that should be, something pretty nice to look at. And then as you continue through that, you want to make sure you have your protection in place. So the protection I placed, I used that screen meshing just to make sure the weeds weren't growing, just to make sure that had a protective environment. The weather, I didn't really have to do too much watering myself. We actually got plenty of rainfall, so that wasn't a big issue there. So after you do all that, let's see, you don't really have to do as much work. It's a process you essentially have to follow. So once you follow the process and you make sure that your garden is actually going to be growing, or not growing, you're cultivating your garden so that your investment is actually maturing, then you'll be in much, much better shape, and so will your garden. Now, I have some other areas in my yard that have not been taken care of too well. And eventually they will get their due diligence, they'll get their love, but that didn't happen yet. So the real question is, what does your garden look like? Have you been able to cultivate it, or is it kind of growing a little bit wild? So I have an area over here that I've looked at a couple of years, and with this whole pandemic lockdown and having some more time at home, you might see an upcoming video of me taking care of it. But this is what it looks like right now. So we had a tree taken down over there. As you can see, there's a lot growing over here. I'm not sure what most of the stuff is because, again, I am not a gardener. But the plans are probably just to take everything down, maybe put a nice garden in there where we can grow some vegetables in there. It might be kind of nice. We did grow a big stalk of corn not a couple years ago that was taller than me, which was kind of neat. But we'll see actually how that actually is going to pan out. But hopefully you have a plan to cultivate your garden. And again, your garden can be anything. Think about health, think about your wealth, think about your relationships, and think about your fulfillment. So you definitely need to cultivate that garden for any of those 4 categories. Remember, those 4 categories are your goals. So hopefully I'll catch you on another episode. Hopefully if you need any help with that garden, you let me know. But hopefully you're cultivating your garden and you're not just letting it grow. All right, I'll catch you on the next episode. Bye.